Have you ever felt like you're capable of achieving so much, but every time you try to start, something holds you back? You set goals. You feel motivated. You begin with excitement. But just a few days later, everything goes back to the way it was. Here's the truth no one really tells you. Willpower alone is not enough. Real change doesn't come from big, dramatic decisions. It comes from small steps, repeated every single day, until they become part of who you are. This book is not just theory. It's a practical guide to help you build a new life through small habits that grow over time into an unstoppable force. Here, you'll discover how to change yourself without pressure, without fear of failure, and how small changes can lead to massive results. You don't need superhuman strength. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need to start the right way. You'll learn how to make starting easy, how to build consistency that protects you from falling back, and how to turn your daily actions into a path that leads you to your best self. Even if your life is busy, you'll find a clear system here that fits your real life and helps you make progress without feeling overwhelmed. If you're looking for a fresh start, not based on hope alone, but something you build with your own hands, day by day, then this book is for you. Open your mind and get ready to discover your true power and begin your journey of change, calmly and consciously, until you become the person you've always wanted to be. And before we begin, make sure to like and subscribe, because what you're about to learn today might just be the turning point you've been waiting for. Have you ever imagined that a very small change, almost invisible, could completely change the course of your life? We're always waiting for big changes, huge decisions, perfect moments we promise to start tomorrow or next week. But the truth is completely different. Real power is not in big actions. It's in the small details, the ones that seem insignificant today, but over time, they turn you into a completely different person. Imagine improving by just 1% every day. It sounds small, almost meaningless. But if you stay consistent with that tiny improvement, after 1 year, you'll be 37 times better than where you started. This is the secret of continuous improvement, the power of silent accumulation, working in the background, creating massive results without noise. Most people think success requires a big decision or a huge burst of effort in a single moment. But the truth is, goals alone are not enough, because goals are the destination, but habits are the path. They move you forward, step by step, even when you don't feel like you're making progress. And you might wonder, why don't we see results quickly? The answer is simple. Real change takes time. Just like ice, it doesn't melt until the temperature reaches a certain point. After heat has been building up, your habits work the same way. They need to cross a threshold before the results become visible. Patience here is not optional. It's what turns small into big, weak into strong, and ordinary into extraordinary. When you choose a small daily habit, like reading 1 page, walking for 5 minutes, or saving a small amount of money, you're actually planting a seed. And with repetition, that seed grows into a strong tree that's hard to shake. And eventually, that habit becomes part of your identity, effortlessly. And here's the most powerful part. You don't need to change your entire life in 1 day. All you need is to ask yourself one simple question every day. What is one small thing I can improve today? That question alone moves you from thinking to action, from wishing to results, without pressure, without feeling overwhelmed. And in the next chapter, we'll go even deeper to understand why small habits are actually more powerful than you think, and how these simple changes can shift your entire life with the least effort and the greatest impact. Get ready to discover the power of small details, the ones you ignore today, but might become your greatest advantage tomorrow. Have you ever wondered why some people achieve incredible results while others stay stuck? Despite having big dreams, you might think the secret is in goals, the lists we write, or the dreams we hang on our walls. But the truth is different. The real difference is not in the goals, it's in the small habits that successful people stick to every single day, even on the ordinary days when no one is watching. Goals give you direction, but they don't change your reality on their own. You can set a goal to lose 10 kilograms, to read 50 books a year, or to save a large amount of money, but without a simple, consistent daily system, it all remains just a wish. Small habits are what build that system. They are what turn your goals into reality. Step by step, imagine your goals as the mountain peak you want to reach, but your habits are the path you walk every day. You can stare at the peak and imagine yourself standing there, but you will never get there unless you take at least one step every day. The people who truly succeed are not the ones who dream more. They are the ones who commit to the daily step. Small habits have the power of consistency because they don't require massive energy and they don't rely on extreme willpower. They simply fit into your life naturally. Reading for 5 minutes a day is more powerful than promising 2 hours and never doing it. Walking for 5 minutes is better than a harsh workout plan you keep postponing. But there's something even deeper. Small habits don't just change your actions, they change how you see yourself. When you commit to something small and follow through every day, you start respecting yourself. You start believing that you can change. And that belief is what gives you the strength to take bigger steps later. But here's the biggest secret. Habits don't just build results, they build you. Every time you stick to a small habit, you're not just changing your day, you're reshaping yourself, your personality, your identity. And this leads us to the most important point. Habits build your new identity. And in the next chapter, we'll discover how habits transform from simple daily actions into a powerful tool that redefines who you are, and why it's not enough to change your actions. You must change the image you have of yourself, because the person you believe you are is the one who determines which habits you follow and which dreams become your reality. Deep inside every person, there is a hidden image of who they are. This image defines how you think, how you act, and how you live your life. Most people believe that actions only create results, but the truth goes deeper. Your actions don't just create results, they create you. Everything you do every day is not just a habit, it's a silent message you send to yourself about who you are. Every time you read a page, you're not just reading, you're telling yourself, I am a reader. Every time you move your body, even for 5 minutes, you're not just exercising, you're saying, I am someone who takes care of my health. This is how small habits work. They don't just change your day, they change your identity. Slowly, but permanently. The problem is, most people start from the outside. They set a goal and chase it without asking the most important question: who do I want to become? But real transformation starts from the inside out. First, ask yourself, who do I want to be? Then ask, what small actions prove this identity? Every day, if you want to become a writer, don't wait until you finish a whole book. Start by writing one paragraph every day. And as you do it, tell yourself, I am a writer. Identity gives you stability. It turns habits from a burden into something natural. When your identity is strong, your habits become like roots, stable, even in the toughest conditions. And here's the powerful part. When your habits are connected to your identity, quitting the habit doesn't feel like a small failure. It feels like you're betraying yourself. And that's why you keep going, even on the days when your motivation is gone. Think about this. Habits are not just a way to achieve external goals. They are a way to build a new version of yourself, a version you are proud of. And every habit you stick to today is a brick in building that new identity you truly deserve. And in the next chapter, we move into action. You'll discover the simple system behind every habit, a powerful 4-step rule: how to start a habit, how to make it attractive, how to stay consistent, and how to reward yourself. With this system, you won't fight your habits anymore. You'll make them work for you. Get ready to become a new version of yourself. Have you ever wondered how habits are formed inside your mind without you even noticing? Why does your hand reach for your phone the moment you wake up? And why do you suddenly crave something sweet right after lunch? The truth is, habits do not happen by accident. There is a hidden cycle behind many of our daily behaviors, and most of the time, we don't even realize it. This cycle has 4 simple steps: cue, craving, response, and reward. The first step is the cue. This is what starts the habit. It could be a sound, a place, a specific time of day, or something you see in front of you. It might be the sound of your alarm in the morning, the sight of a book on the table, or even sitting in the same spot every day. The cue tells your brain that a certain behavior is about to begin. Then comes the craving. This is where the internal desire begins. It is not the cue itself that attracts you, but the feeling you expect to get afterward. You may drink coffee because you want to feel more energized, or open your phone because you are looking for quick entertainment or temporary relief. After that comes the response. This is the actual action. In other words, it is the habit itself. It could be something very simple, like drinking a glass of water, or something bigger, like going to the gym. And the easier the habit feels, the more likely you are to do it. The final step is the reward. This is what your brain receives after the habit is completed. It may be a sense of comfort, a quick pleasure, or a feeling of achievement. And this is where your brain learns something very important. This behavior is worth repeating. That is how habits become stronger over time. Once you understand this cycle deeply, you are not just learning about habits. You are gaining the power to shape them. If you want to build a good habit, make the cue obvious. Make the habit attractive. Make it easy. And give yourself a reward after completing it. And if you want to break a bad habit, do the exact opposite. Make the cue less visible. Make the habit less attractive. Make it harder to do. And remove the quick reward connected to it. This leads us to a powerful realization. Habits are not random. They are a system. And any system can be understood. And anything that can be understood can be changed. When you learn to control the habit loop, you are really learning how to take control of your life and how to reshape your future, one step at a time. In the next chapter, we will go deeper into the first step, the cue, and we will learn how to make habits more visible in daily life so they become easier to repeat. And so the change you want becomes closer than you think. If you want to build a new habit, there's one thing you must understand first. Don't keep it vague, because vagueness is the biggest enemy of habits. How many times have you told yourself, I'll start reading, I'll take care of my health, I'll save money, and then days pass, and nothing happens? The reason is simple. A habit that has no clear time and no clear place will remain just an idea. It will never become action. Clarity is where real change begins. You need to define exactly when and where. Not, I'll work out, but after I wake up at 6 a.m. I will exercise for 5 minutes. Next to my bed. Not, I'll read. Bed. After lunch. I will read 2 pages. While sitting on the balcony. This level of clarity turns habits into something automatic. No overthinking. No daily inner struggle. When your habit is clear, with a specific time and a specific place, resistance fades and hesitation disappears because your brain knows exactly what to do. Clarity closes the door on procrastination, and it gives you an easy start without long internal debates. And here's a powerful technique. Instead of starting from zero, attach your new habit to an existing one. Simply say, after my current habit, I will do the new one. This is called habit stacking. For example, after drinking coffee, I'll read 1 page. After brushing my teeth, I'll drink a glass of water. This way, your new habit becomes a natural part of your routine. But there's another important factor. Your environment. Your environment can support your habit or destroy it. If you want to read, place a book on your pillow. If you want to drink more water, keep a bottle in front of you on your desk. When something is visible, it becomes a clear cue that pushes you to act without reminders. And here's the real secret. You don't need stronger willpower. You need more clarity. Clarity doesn't mean complexity. It doesn't mean strict discipline. It means simplicity and precision. So the habit becomes easy, automatic, and part of your daily life without effort. And in the next chapter, we'll explore the next step, how to make habits attractive, because clarity alone is not enough. You need to make your brain want the habit so it doesn't feel like a burden, but something you actually look forward to. Get ready to learn how to build habits you enjoy and stick to with ease. Let's be honest, no matter how useful a habit is, you won't stick to it for long if it doesn't feel attractive. The habits that last are not just useful, they are appealing because your brain naturally moves toward pleasure and avoids anything that feels boring or heavy. And this is your role, to make your habits attractive to your mind. Instead of avoiding them, you start looking forward to them. So how do you do that? The first method. Pair the habit with something you already enjoy. If you love music, listen to your favorite track during your morning walk. If you enjoy your coffee, connect that moment with reading a page or writing a few lines in your journal. This way, your new habit becomes linked to an immediate reward your brain already loves. The second method is something we've already talked about, habit stacking. After a habit you already do, add your new habit immediately. After brushing your teeth, do 2 minutes of stretching. After lunch, take a 5-minute walk. When you do this, the new habit becomes a natural extension of something already in your routine. And because of that, resistance becomes lower and consistency becomes easier. But there's another key factor, instant enjoyment. Even if the habit itself is simple, you can make it more fun. Mark your progress on a calendar every single day you complete it. Share your progress with a friend who encourages you, or give yourself a small reward after you follow through. This creates an emotional connection between you and the habit, a connection that makes you want to keep going. And don't forget your environment. Make it attractive too. If you want to read, choose a book that excites you, not one that feels like a burden. If you want to exercise, pick something you enjoy, not something you force yourself to do. Because when a habit is linked to positive emotions, it becomes easier, stronger, and more sustainable. Think about this. It's not enough to know that a habit is good for you. You have to make it enjoyable so it doesn't feel like a task you keep postponing every day. And in the next chapter, we move to another key step: how to make habits easy, because attraction alone is not enough. If a habit feels difficult, you'll avoid it, no matter how appealing it is. Get ready to remove friction and make your habits flow naturally into your daily life. If you think that you need strong willpower or constant motivation to build a new habit, you're thinking the wrong way. The real secret is not strength, it's simplicity. Most people fail, not because they are incapable, but because they start in a complicated way. They set big goals and try to execute them with long, difficult steps, and then they stop before they even begin. That's where procrastination starts and frustration follows. But what if the solution is much simpler? Make your habit easy, so easy that you can't say no to it. Don't start with 1 hour of reading. Start with 1 page. Don't start with a full workout. Start with 1 minute. It may seem small, but this simplicity removes your biggest enemy, resistance. Because the hardest part is not continuing, it's starting. And when you make starting easy, you open the door to consistency. Over time, you'll find yourself doing more naturally because the habit becomes comfortable, familiar, not a heavy burden. This is what we call the law of least effort. Your brain naturally seeks the easiest path. So why not use that to your advantage? Make everything easier. If you want to write, keep your notebook and pen ready. If you want to work out, place your workout clothes next to your bed. The easier it is to start, the less resistance you face, and the more likely you are to follow through. Remember this: it doesn't matter if you start perfectly. What matters is that you start. Real change doesn't come from big plans. It comes from the first step. Small, simple, and immediate. And when you start, even with something small, your confidence begins to grow. You start telling yourself, I can stay consistent. And that's where real discipline begins. Not through force, but through consistency. When your habits are easy, your brain doesn't resist them. It accepts them and keeps going. Because easy paths move you forward, while difficult ones push you backward. And in the next chapter, we'll explore another key step: how to make habits satisfying. Because consistency doesn't only need simplicity, it needs an immediate feeling that makes you want to repeat the action. Get ready to turn your habits into something you actually enjoy, coming back to every single day. After every habit you perform, your brain needs a reason to say, I want to do that again. And that is where reward comes in. Reward is the good feeling that feeds the habit and helps it become part of your life. Without a clear reward, a habit starts to feel like a burden, and over time, motivation fades away, making consistency much harder than it seems. But reward does not always mean buying something or giving yourself a material gift. Sometimes, a simple feeling is enough: a sense of accomplishment, inner relief, or even a small moment of joy that says, well done. You kept your promise to yourself. After a short reading session, for example, you can take 1 minute, breathe deeply, and reflect on something valuable you learned. Or simply, mark your progress on a calendar as proof that you followed through. That small feeling of success is not as small as it seems. It is the fuel that keeps the habit alive. The habits that make you feel good in the moment are the habits that last. So don't just make your habit useful, make it enjoyable too. If you want to exercise, choose a type of movement you actually enjoy. And if possible, do it with people who motivate you. If you want to write, write in a peaceful place you love, with your favorite drink beside you. These small details may seem unimportant, but they create a huge difference. the faster and clearer the reward is after the habit, the more likely you are to repeat it, because the human brain loves actions that lead to immediate rewards. It does not like waiting too long, and it does not respond well to vague rewards. So don't delay your feeling of success, and don't make your reward invisible. Think carefully about this. Habits are not just behaviors, they are experiences we live through and connect with emotionally. And when you build a positive relationship with your habits, you are not only building a behavior, you are building a feeling of strength, of control, and of owning your life again. But even with rewards, willpower alone is still not enough. If your environment keeps pushing you in the wrong direction, and that brings us to the next chapter, where we will discover why environment can sometimes be stronger than willpower, and how arranging what surrounds you can make good habits easier to follow and reduce your chances of failure. Many times, we think the problem is weak willpower, so we blame ourselves every time we fail to stick to a new habit. But the truth, the one many people overlook, is that the environment we live in is often much stronger than our willpower, and in many cases, the real secret behind success or failure is not your personality, but the small things that surround you every single day. Your environment sends silent signals to your brain and pushes you towards certain actions without you even noticing. A book placed on the table can remind you to read. A bottle of water in front of you can make you drink more. But on the other hand, a phone next to your bed can pull you into endless scrolling. And the solution is not to fight yourself every day. The solution is to make your environment work for you. If you want to build a new habit, make your environment your ally, not an enemy that steals your focus. Make good habits easy to reach. Put a bottle of water on your desk if you want to drink more. Place your workout shoes near the door if you want to encourage yourself to walk. Leave your notebook on your table before going to sleep if you want to write in the morning. This way, the habit becomes visible, close, and easy to start, and over time, it becomes your first choice, almost automatically. At the same time, make bad habits harder to access. If you want to reduce phone use, don't keep your phone right next to you all the time. Put it somewhere farther away, where it is not easy to reach. And if you want to eat less sugar, don't keep sweets in front of your eyes all day. An environment that makes bad habits harder protects you from falling into them without forcing you into a daily battle. Think about this. Your environment is like a wave. It either pushes you toward the direction you want or pulls you away from it. That is why you do not always need superhuman willpower if your environment is designed intelligently, because external change makes internal change much easier, and it reduces the mental effort you need in order to stay consistent. Willpower can weaken, it can run out, but your environment works silently all the time. So if you truly want to change, start by arranging your small world around you. You do not need a long motivational speech. You need simple decisions that create an atmosphere which supports you quietly and wisely. And in the next chapter, we will go deeper into how to break bad habits in a practical way and how to use your environment itself to dismantle those habits and replace them with better choices so that you no longer remain trapped by behaviors that frustrate you every day and keep you from becoming the version of yourself you truly want to be. Just like building good habits requires clarity, attractiveness, simplicity, and reward, breaking bad habits requires reversing these principles, but in a smart way. Bad habits don't disappear through force or self-hate. They are dismantled step by step. How? By making them invisible, unattractive, difficult, and unsatisfying. First, make them invisible. Every bad habit starts with a cue. Remove the cue, and you weaken the habit. If using your phone before bed is a problem, remove it from your bedroom. If fast food is tied to a certain place, reduce your exposure to that place. This way, you turn off the spark before it even begins. Second, make it unattractive. Ask yourself honestly, what is this habit taking from you? Your health? Your time? Your money? Write it down and remind yourself constantly. When you see the truth clearly, the habit starts to lose its appeal, and your brain becomes less attracted to it. Third, make it difficult. The harder a habit is, the less you repeat it. If you want to watch less TV, remove the batteries from the remote. If you want to eat less sugar, don't keep it in your house. These small obstacles may seem insignificant, but they create a moment of awareness before you act. And sometimes, that moment is enough to stop you. Fourth, make it unsatisfying. Every bad habit comes with an immediate reward. That's why it sticks. But if you connect it to a negative outcome, your brain starts to avoid it. You can create a simple rule, like paying a small penalty each time you break your habit, or writing down every time you slip, so you feel the weight of your decision. When the habit becomes unsatisfying, your emotional connection to it fades. Think about this. Breaking bad habits is not a painful battle. It's a smart process of dismantling a system that was controlling you. Remove the cues, reduce the attraction, increase the difficulty, and eliminate the reward, and you will find yourself slowly becoming free without constant struggle. And this is where everything comes together. You build good habits with strength and break bad ones with intelligence. You become more free, more in control, and closer to your goals, calmly and confidently. And in the next chapter, we'll explore something simple, but incredibly powerful: how to track your habits and how a small daily mark can give you a sense of progress and allow you to see your growth with your own eyes. There's a hidden power in something very simple: tracking your daily progress. Even if it's just a small mark on a piece of paper or on a wall calendar, it may seem small, but in reality, it's much more than that. It's a daily declaration that you kept your promise to yourself, that you took one more step toward building your new life. Tracking habits turns small actions into visible achievements, something you can see and feel. Every time you mark a day, your brain receives a signal: I did it. And that feeling makes you want to repeat it again tomorrow. Never underestimate that mark, because it transforms progress from something invisible into something real. And that builds consistency and creates strong internal motivation. Over time, you'll start noticing something powerful: a chain of consistent days where you stayed committed. And that chain does something deeper. It builds your confidence. It makes you say, I can change. And here, something important happens. Your goal is no longer just doing the habit. Your goal becomes not breaking the chain. You protect it. You fight to keep it alive. Choose a tracking method that works for you: a small notebook, a wall calendar, or even a simple app on your phone. What matters is that you see your progress every day, because what you see, you continue, and it builds a relationship between you and your habits based on respect and motivation. But let's be honest, you won't be perfect. There will be days you forget, or feel lazy, or get overwhelmed, and that's okay. This is where the golden rule comes in: never miss twice. If you miss one day, come back the next. Simple. No guilt. No drama. Because a quick comeback protects your habit from breaking completely, and it makes you more flexible and more consistent. Tracking your habits gives you a sense of progress, even on days when life feels slow or difficult. And when you look at those marks, you'll realize something powerful. You are no longer the person who only plans. You are the person who takes action. And that feeling alone is enough to give you pride, confidence, and a drive to continue. But even with all of this, there will come a day when you face a setback, a moment where you feel like you've fallen behind. And that's where the next step begins. How do you stay strong when things go wrong? In the next chapter, we'll learn how to turn setbacks into opportunities and continue your journey toward real change. On the journey of building habits, you will face difficult days. There will be moments when you feel like you're back at the beginning. But here's something important. Setbacks are not failure. They are a natural part of the process. No one builds a new habit without stumbling, but the real difference between those who succeed and those who quit is not how many times they fall. It's how quickly they get back up. Don't let one bad day turn into a week of stopping. Learn this simple rule. Never miss twice. If you miss one day, forgive yourself and come back the next day. Immediately. No guilt. No overthinking. Remember this. Success is not about being perfect every day. It's about continuing, even when you're not. Habits are not a daily test of perfection. They are a long-term process, built through consistency. Even slow progress is still progress. Don't let a small mistake destroy a big vision. In moments of frustration, go back to your reason. Why did you start? What made you want to change? What will your life look like if you keep going? These questions bring back meaning. They give you strength, even when your steps are small. And here's a powerful strategy. Have a backup plan. Create a smaller version of your habit. If you usually read 10 pages, read just one. On hard days, if you normally work out for 20 minutes, do 1 minute instead. It may seem small, but it's powerful because it keeps the chain alive and prevents it from breaking. Think about this. Setbacks remind you that you're human, but they also give you the chance to prove to yourself that you are stronger than your circumstances. Every time you get back up, you don't just recover. You grow stronger. You build something inside you. Resilience. That cannot be bought or taught. And in the final chapter, we'll discover how these small habits become the path to building a great life, a life you reach with calm, steady steps. And before we continue, if you're finding value in this, don't forget to subscribe because your journey of change is just getting started. In the end, you will realize that habits are not just daily tasks and not a boring routine you force on yourself. Habits are a hidden tool, but an incredibly powerful one. They are how you build your life, step by step, without pressure, without noise, but with calm and intention. Habits are what turn big goals into small daily actions, and they make what once felt impossible become possible. A great life is not built in a single day. It is built through small actions, repeated every day. Every good habit you stick to is an investment in yourself. It may feel small today, but over time, it becomes a treasure that transforms your entire life. Read one page today, and after a year, you'll become a reader. Move for 1 minute a day, and after months, you'll feel stronger and more active. Habits turn success into something natural, not something you have to struggle for. And what makes habits powerful is that they give you something essential: control. You become the leader of your day, the owner of your time. You are no longer controlled by circumstances. You don't wait for the perfect moment. You create progress with your own hands. Through habits, you don't just change your day, you change who you are. You become someone who acts quietly, consistently, and with purpose. Right now, you have two choices: stay in the cycle of thinking and wishing, or start with one small step that creates real change. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Start now with what you have and let consistency do the magic. Always remember, your habits create your identity, and your identity creates your future. A great life doesn't mean a life without problems. It means a life where you keep moving forward, despite them. A life with meaning, with purpose. Habits are what give you that power. They make you steady, realistic, optimistic, and effective in your daily life. And now, we've reached the end of this book. But this is not the end. It's your beginning. Start today, even with one small step, because that step may one day become your story, the one that inspires others. Keep going. Make your habits your closest ally, and quietly build the life you truly deserve. And if you made it this far, you're someone who truly wants to change. Write in the comments what book you want next. And don't forget to subscribe, because your journey starts now.